Traders? Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are all having a good weekend or have had a good weekend. I hope you guys are ready for another good weekly outlook. We're just really going to just jump into things today, guys. I'm excited to take a look at the charts. I'm excited to take a look at a couple of the things that are going on this week. A couple things just some nuggets that I'm excited to drop. So before we get started, just do me a favor, if you guys have not already, smash that like button. If you're watching this live and you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. And if you're watching the recording and you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys. But we're getting towards the end of July, our first month of quarter 3, and here we go. So let's just kind of jump into things and get the week started, okay? So first things first, to start off the week, let's go ahead and look at the economic calendar. And the main focus this week, well, there's actually a lot of different currencies being affected. You'll actually see Monday morning. So tomorrow morning, we're going to see Governor Kuroda speaking. Tuesday is pretty light. Wednesday, we have a bunch of PMIs that are going to be coming out for the Eurozone. And then Wednesday evening, we're going to see Governor Lowe from the Reserve Bank of Australia speaking on the Australian dollar. Thursday is more Eurozone news. We're going to have a refinancing rate, a monetary policy statement, as well as a press conference from the European Central Bank all Thursday morning. So you can see this week there's definitely a couple different currencies being affected, but there's a lot of the Eurozone being affected. So especially with Thursday, with that monetary policy and a press conference going down, that's going to give us a good idea of where the ECB stands with the quantitative easing, the QE that the Eurozone has been going through. So we'll get a good idea to, in general of what their view is on their monetary policy. We have some core durable goods orders also Thursday morning and for the US dollar. And then to wrap it up, we also have some GDP Friday morning. So with the exception of Tuesday, it looks like there's a high impact news event every day this week, but there's a lot of Eurozone news this week. So I'm definitely going to be watching and analyzing, seeing what happens come Thursday with the press conference. And a lot of that has to do with, if we want to jump into the technicals already, if we just want to jump straight to Euro USD, which it looks like there's a glitch going on, guys. Sometimes TradingView, I guess it's not TradingView, it's if you guys see in the top left hand corner, this feed is coming from Oanda. So it looks like Oanda has a glitch right now. There's a candle that goes all the way up to 22, which didn't actually happen obviously, but because it's part of the chart, it scrunches up. Since it scales out, it scales the rest of the chart. So I'm just going to kind of have to ignore. Oh, this is a little bit annoying. Let's see if I can find Euro USD with another pair very quickly, or with another currency. Okay. So this will do for now. Unfortunately, with the Euro USD, let me just try refreshing it very quickly, see if that changes it at all. Oh, yes, it did. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's been some glitches today with TradingView. By the way, I was having trouble finding the live stream right now on my channel. For some reason, guys, I don't know what's going on with the YouTube algorithm, but it's not showing the live stream on people's like subscription boxes. And the way I know is I have like a personal YouTube channel that I'm obviously subscribed to Positive Traders on, and that's what I pull up on my phone to read the comments on, and it didn't show. This happens like once every couple months or so. I've noticed there's a glitch with YouTube. So yeah, I guess there's just not a lot of people watching today, but I just wanted to make sure that there were any comments in here. So I have the poll, the chat pulled up. So welcome everybody. Ariane, Ivan, IUQ 2002. Welcome, guys. Good to see all of you guys on here. So let's go ahead and take a look at Euro USD because I have the most interest in this pair. This is a pair I've been very patient with for quite some time now. And when I say quite some time, I'm talking, not just weeks, but months. I've been waiting for Euro USD for the right setup. And it finally is starting to set up. It started to set up last week. I actually took a stab at Euro USD, and I'm probably going to be taking another stab at it this week as well. But long story short, if you guys have been paying attention, if you've been on any of my weekly outlooks, and if you, by the way, if it's your first time joining me, welcome. And if this is your first weekly outlook, I highly encourage you to watch a couple of my previous weekly outlooks before this, so that way you can get a good idea on my perspective on Euro USD, because I don't always go over every single week the same thing. So this week I'm just going to reiterate my bias and my analysis that I've been going over for the past couple weeks of expecting Euro USD to go long. I'm expecting Euro USD to make a correction at least up towards the 118 to 120 area, probably higher than that, but that would be a start. I am definitely giving you guys that recommendation that, this is definitely not financial advice or anything like that, but I would highly recommend and highly suggest taking a look at Euro USD and considering the opportunity of a long position. One thing, just to kind of pull up my point from a fundamental or sentimental standpoint, is I looked at this last week. I pulled this up last week and used this as a reference, was the COT report. Now, for some reason on myfxbook.com, where I normally see the COT data, for the Euro chart, it's stuck rotating here. I don't know if it's the same for you guys. Now, there is other websites that you can see this data on. Another very popular website to look at the COT data in an aggregated quantitative format, like the chart would be like barchart.com. But I already know, if you guys were on last week's Outlook when we looked at the most up-to-date COT report, which was up to last week, right? If you guys know anything about the COT report, by the way, I'm not going to do a whole lesson, but just a little snippet of information is that the COT report, the numbers actually get released every Tuesday, so weekly every Tuesday. But so you'll see like it dated as the 16th and then the 9th and then the one coming up the 23rd. But there's 3 days when the numbers get audited, and so that you don't actually see the numbers. The public doesn't get the numbers until Friday, okay? So from last Friday, when we looked at the COT data, we saw, if you remember, we saw the commercials going from a net long position, and we saw them moving to the zero baseline position, and basically expecting the commercial traders to move from a net long position to a net short position, while large speculators move from a net short position to a net long position, right? And that all of it, if you don't understand reading the COT report, I told you guys, just all you need to know, the gist of what I'm trying to say is all that means is to buy the euro, okay? But just to kind of back up what I'm saying, the reason why I pulled this up is because even though I can't see the new line on the chart, what I can do is I can just go and look at the actual numbers itself. So this is pulled straight from the CFTC.gov, right from the CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile and Exchange, and just another little tidbit of information. That is where we see a lot of the currency reporting done on the COT report is through the CME. I look at, this is the short format of the CME, the most updated, so you'll see as of July 16th, so this is the most up-to-date one that came out last week. And the CME is actually the largest futures exchange in the whole world, by the way. Okay, so they're larger than any futures exchange on Wall Street in New York, like anywhere in the world. Okay, so the CME is, if you don't know what the CME is, get to know the CME, especially when it becomes relevant to the COT report. So what we can do is obviously there's a lot of numbers, a lot of rating on here, so we can use our resources. Just go Command F, and then let's go find in here, and let's type in euro, and this is going to take us to the euro. And there's a lot of different euro crosses, right? We can see the euro FX versus the Japanese yen, all this stuff, and then we can see just the euro, right? And this is what we're interested in. That's what this aggregated data on this chart is based off of. And what I'm interested in looking is at the change in longs and shorts on commercial traders. So what I'm looking at is right here. I'm looking at commercials. I'm looking at longs and shorts, and I'm looking at these two numbers right here. And what you can see is that there was an increase in, so when it comes to the commercials, we can see that there was an increase in shorts. There's also an increase in longs. Or this is the total. I'm sorry. This is the total, okay? So this is the total open and then the difference. I'm sorry. This is the change. So what we're seeing is that there were more shorts that were added on. So if you see 4,735 versus 2,924. All right, so there were 4,735 new contracts or more contracts added for short positions for commercial traders, all right, from commercial entities. So meaning that if we were to look at the actual chart, like if I was to go pull up like barchart.com right now, we would see that there were more shorts than there were longs from commercial traders. So this just, from a longer term perspective, again, this is for my swing trade analysis, of course. This just helps continue and support my bias about buying Euro USD, okay, from a fundamental standpoint, just to get that fundamental backing. So I think Euro USD is still a great buy. Let's take a look at it on the weekly. So last week we saw it open from a bullish week the week previous. Last week it didn't move a whole lot. Last week it did retrace the week before's, so 2 weeks ago's move. But still didn't move a whole lot. If we look at it on the daily, it stayed pretty much at these lows consolidating. You'll see a couple things that I have marked off also for my personal analysis on this pair. I have the July lows marked, and I have the June lows marked, and I have the yearly lows marked. So I don't have every month, but just the past 2 months lows marked, and then the yearly low. So this is the 2019 low. And you can see a couple times this month already where we've gotten back down to July lows. So specifically last week, beginning of last week, right, we got, so remember, a week is consistent of 5 daily candles. So you ignore, we're on the daily chart right now, so you ignore the current daily candle. That's obviously the new week right now. This is the first daily candle. So these 5 daily candles is last week. And you can see on like Monday, Tuesday of last week, we had a sharp move to the downside on Euro USD. But it just came back to the July lows, did not break, so it just came to the monthly lows and bounced. Saw a sharp rejection on like Wednesday-ish, and then Thursday, Friday, end of last week, we saw just a big spike back down towards the lows of where we were at last week, and that's where we open up this week at. So it is at the July lows. So pretty interesting spot, but like I said, just coming from a perspective of somebody who likes to ride the coattails of smart money, and we can go and look at something like the COT report and see where smart money is at and see where smart money is scaling in and out of positions at. It would make sense to me only to be looking at buying Euro USD. So I only have buy interest in this pair, okay? And all of that means that I am bearish on the US dollar. So, this is definitely no news, no surprise to any of you guys that have, if you've been on, the past, 5 weekly outlooks or even 2 weekly outlooks, you'll know that I've been bearish on the dollar. So even though at the end of last week was bullish on the dollar, I am still overall bearish. We are still well below the yearly lows, and so I am overall still looking for sells on the US dollar. What does this mean for gold? I am still bullish on gold, guys. Gold continues to rally up, and I continue to keep saying all year long, gold's going to keep going up, and I stand by that. Nothing has changed. Gold is going to go to 1,500 at some point, okay? USD Swiss franc looks really good for some short positioning also. It's going to go long-term down as well as Euro USD going up. So remember, these two pairs have a negative correlation to each other, okay? And then dollar yen, I am still interested in, I have sell interest in dollar yen, okay? Now, I personally am not interested in, if I would not enter new shorts or new positions at these lows on dollar yen. if you've been riding a dollar yen since, let's say, like April or May, since these highs when I first called this reversal on dollar yen, or even if you've just been looking out, even from the beginning of this year when we saw the reversal pattern on the weekly here, right? This strong morning star reversal pattern on the weekly, and we called that it was going to correct and then eventually continue crashing lower, which is exactly what it did. If you're riding those shorts, hold those shorts, but don't enter any new shorts, okay? Because this week also, we won't know until the first couple days, until the week kind of gets going. It's kind of impossible to know at this point, but this could also be another just corrective week for the US dollar. We could see the US dollar get mildly stronger, meaning Euro USD could potentially break July lows, even get down to June lows. Even if that happens, I'm still bullish on Euro USD. Okay? Until I see pretty much I'll just leave it at this. Until I see a massive change in commercial sentiment, I'm not going to change my bias of being long on Euro USD and being short on the US dollar. And then finally, USD CAD. So, by the way, this is a common trend for the past probably 2 weeks. This is making 3 weeks. These have been the 6 instruments that I've focused on. Right, gold, the dollar index, Euro USD, USD Swiss franc, US dollar versus the Japanese yen, and US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Right, these 6 instruments have pretty much been my only focus. I've found a little interest in a couple other things here and there, but these have been my main focus that I'm watching. And USD CAD, if you guys remember, you should all have it written down. If you've been on any of my weekly outlooks, I've been calling 129, and I still remain with a target at 129. So it's as simple as that, guys, okay? In my opinion, Euro USD looks like the best, right? Start scaling in long positions on Euro USD. Obviously, with anything, guys, nothing's guaranteed, right? Like I was telling my students yesterday, because I did something yesterday with my students. Like I told them that profits aren't guaranteed, right? There's no single setup that is guaranteed. There's no strategy that is guaranteed. Not a single person. If somebody tells you that profits are guaranteed, you're probably in a dream. You probably need to pinch yourself and wake up, okay? Because if any sort of setup or something was guaranteed, then I would wait. It doesn't matter how long I'd have to wait. Once 6 months, a year, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll only get that setup once a year, right? But if I get a quote unquote guaranteed setup once a year, then I'll just go take out a loan from the bank for $100,000, over leverage with 1 to 3,000 leverage, and just become a millionaire overnight. Obviously, though, I'm being sarcastic because that would never happen. So remember that nothing is guaranteed. So when I say scale in positions on Euro USD and don't miss out on this buy on Euro USD, anything can happen, okay? But guys, trust me, I am a professional trader. I make a full-time living trading, full-time income trading, full-time, and I don't know any other way to say it. It's as clear as day that Euro USD is going to go up over the next couple months. So if you want to make a little bit of side money, scale in on buys on Euro USD, and 60 days from now, 90 days from now, you'll thank me, I promise you. All right. Ivan, do you see gold continue to go higher this week? Specifically this week, Ivan, it's hard to say. Overall, in 60 days from now, 90 days from now, gold will definitely have hit 1,500, right? Just last week, crazy moves, right? We saw gold go all the way from 1,400 all the way up to 1,450. Now, it did make a nice correction, so there is a possibility, Ivan, that it will continue going because we did get a nice correction, right? It corrected all the way from 1,450 down to 1,420. But like I said, I think we have to kind of figure out what's going to happen the first couple days this week to figure out what's going to happen to gold. Because look at the dollar, because if we see the dollar pick up a little bit of strength this week and Euro USD drop a little bit, then gold is going to keep dropping just a little bit also. But if from here we just see the US dollar continue to drop, like I would ideally like it to, sorry guys, I have the hiccups, like I would like it to do, then I'd like to see gold keep going up higher also. All right. Guys, when I talk really fast, I get hiccups once in a while. All right. So that is my analysis for the week. All right, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm kind of liking it. Well, especially today. This is really weird that the YouTube algorithm is not showing it on my recommended. Like even right now, it's not even showing me as live, even though I'm subscribed with notifications turned on. I don't know what's going on. So sometimes YouTube does this. So I'll just assume most of you guys are watching the recording. And do me a huge favor, guys, if you are watching this live right now, or even if you're watching the recording, please smash a like button, guys. If you have ever just made any kind of money, not even just off of this weekly outlook, but if you've ever been on here in my Telegram or on any of my weekly outlooks and I've ever just made you even a little bit of profit in the market, and the best way that you can say thanks is by liking these videos, right? It doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free, but it means the world to me. So I appreciate you guys by smashing the like button. It means a lot. Helps get this information and out to more other people on YouTube that will find value out of this. But let's see. Okay. Also, last thing, we have a question here, Simon. Do you see oil continuing its move down? I'm not interested in oil whatsoever, Simon. To be honest, I have not been following oil, so I can't give a diligent outlook on oil because I have not been following it. I know that there's been a lot of fundamentals moving. From a technical outlook, I see that there was a bearish week from oil last week, but I know that that doesn't really mean much with oil. Oil is so volatile. So, I know, Simon, you're obviously a premium member. So what I'll do is I'll kind of I'll do my diligence and catch up on the oil news on my end, and I'll get back to you on the daily webinar tomorrow. You said when I spotted the sell 2 weeks ago, I was seeing it go down towards somewhere between 50-51 as my first take profit. Well, yeah, I mean, that would definitely make a lot of sense. I mean, from a technical level, if we get back into this range, you can definitely see it like on the daily right there, right? This range that we were previously in beginning of this year, you guys remember that's relevant because we had this marked off originally, right? These boxes only went out to like here. Right, beginning of this year when none of that was there, these boxes went out to like here. And then these boxes got a little bit longer when we came back into this range in June. And I would say that definitely if we break the support right now, which is just the resistance of this previous range, you can see this, Simon, that it just barreling down to the next level of support from a technical perspective, of course, that would make sense. So 50 to 51 seems like a pretty fair target for shorting, as long as we break through this area, right? Where we are now is important. 55 would need to break for us to go to 50, of course. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. If you are a student, I will see you tomorrow on our first daily webinar of the week on Monday. Everybody else, I will see you next Sunday on the Weekly Outlook. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Stay safe trading, and catch you guys next week. Take care, everybody.